Now on News 6, the country is bracing for the heat, but the storms are rolling in here at home. We'll break down the areas you could see hail today. Plus, a local man detained by ICE after his immigration case was dismissed.
And they tell you in the courtroom that you're free to go, you're not really free to go.
His family's message, and the city discussing limits on where you can and cannot protest. This is News 6 Mornings.
3, 2, 1, ignition, and lift.
Breaking overnight after several delays, the Axiom 4 launch finally happened this morning. A live report. We're going to have Eric Von Aken out there. He's going to give us a rundown of what happened. Good morning on your Wednesday at 7 a.m. I'm Crystal Moyer.
I'm Justin Mormuth. Glad you're with us this morning. Trooper Steve, watching those roads. Not a ton of issues, but details on that, as you can tell. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos does have some stuff to talk about this morning.
Yeah.
Got a little bit more rain working its way in today.
Yeah, fun. I laugh when I see that rocket launch because I put my K-cup right in my Keurig right when the sonic boom happened in my house. My whole house rumbled, and I was like, did I just press a
I did that.
button?
You were like,
I just short out the whole block.
Did I just short out the?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a low rumble, but at 2:30 in the morning.
is that how you felt after you drank your coffee?
I'm still waiting for that one. All right, let's talk about the weather forecast.
Girl, you got an hour.
Oh, all joking aside, though, listen, at the end of the day, we do have some storms to talk about this afternoon. Right now, we're looking mostly dry as you are heading out the door. Other than the sonic boom this morning, we're not dealing with anything out there. We're at 74 in Daytona Beach. We're at 77 in Orlando. Melbourne still holding at near 80 degrees. Now, as we look here at the radar sweeps are going around. We're not picking up anything on land just yet, but look at all of the rain and several thunderstorms out there. And this is all associated with an upper level low right now sitting over the Bahamas. That's going to continue to shift over Central Florida for the next couple of days. And that's going to fuel the chance not only of a little more rain, but also the threat for some strong to severe threat as well. Rain chances for today, not extremely widespread, but where we do see the rain today, they could be pretty strong. We'll have more details on the impacts and the even better chance for rain and storms in the forecast for tomorrow coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 traffic update.
I'm gonna say this. There is no question why FHP has the most gorgeous patrol cars in the country. Don't laugh too hard, Candace. Come on now. Look at this. This trooper. You can see the shine off this thing. Okay, I'm done. No one got hurt in this crash, guys, so don't be like, oh, Steve's. This is eastbound I-4 at the Champions Gate area. Look, I called Trooper Steve. I got to give my brothers and sisters a shout out there. Things look good. It's going to clear up. Your drive times where they should be, nice and smooth out in there. It's a 40-minute drive time. It is Wednesday. It's a weekday in the middle of the week. Things are clear. Once you clear 535, you're going to be good to go from there. Westbound, still looking good from Seminole County. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. Breaking news overnight, the Axiom 4 mission is officially underway. Here is a look at that rocket as it blasted off from Kennedy Space Center just a short time ago. After several delays, the crew now on their way to the International Space Station.
This mission makes history as the first with astronauts from 3 different countries. News 6's space expert Eric Von Aken witnessed the launch from the Kennedy Space Center and has a recap.
It took just about 2 weeks to get 3 international astronauts along with 1 American veteran space flyer off the ground from the launch pad very early this morning. First, there was a weather delay a couple weeks ago. Then there were leaks with the booster. And then there was a leak in space. NASA took care of all of that. And then today it came down to an upload error.
3, 2, 1, ignition.
The final few minutes of the countdown were smooth, ending with a magnificent early morning milestone for the international crew. So bright it looked like day. So loud it set off half the car alarms in the Kennedy Space Center press parking lot. But it almost wasn't, yet again. Just minutes before fueling the rocket, mission managers encountered an upload issue. They couldn't send weather data to the capsule, required for the capsule to auto-land in the ocean if, God forbid, there was an emergency in flight. The launch escape system can't function without that weather information.
We have to have the launch escape system armed by T-minus 37 minutes. So we are going to take this as far as we can.
I was in the middle of a live report for New Delhi TV in India, in fact, when I learned about the showstopper. Yeah, this is not good, Vishnu. So They have retracted. We're up against the clock. We have about 4 to 5 minutes currently before they have to call this off.
Mission managers tried and tried again until the update uploaded, bringing out the fist bumps and big smiles. The private astronauts, sponsored by their governments from India, Poland, and Hungary, got to sit back and enjoy their $70 million rocket ride to space, now headed for the space station, returning their countries to orbit for the first time in more than 40 years.
Yeah, the way this works is that Axiom is the broker. They're the arranger of these rides to space. So this is the 4th mission that Axiom has arranged. That's why they're calling this Axiom 4. Axiom effectively rents the SpaceX hardware. They also rent the space on the International Space Station for about 2 weeks or so for the astronauts, and they charge about $70 million for putting this all together. It's going to take about 24 hours or so for the astronauts to get to the space station, so they should arrive tomorrow morning. For now at the Kennedy Space Center, Eric Von Eichen, News 6.
This morning, an Orange County middle school teacher is behind bars, accused of having a sexual relationship with a student. News 6's Angie Casada live at Corner Lake Middle with the charges and what parents are being told about this. Angie.
Hey, good morning, Justin. What we know so far, it was 34-year-old Sarah Jackus. She was a math teacher, also a girls basketball coach. And right now what we know is that she's locked up, accused of having sex with a student on school grounds, facing several different charges. And the district confirms Jackus worked at the school as recently as earlier this year. The allegations date back to 2022, but parents just learned about them last night. If you have a child who is a student here, you may have gotten a message from the principal that says, quote, the allegations of misconduct are again from 2 years ago. Well, Jackus went before a judge yesterday. Her bond was set at $19,000, so there's a high possibility that she may be bonding out at some point this morning. Of course, we're going to continue to follow any developments in this case and bring it to you on air and here on clickorlando.com. Reporting in Orange County, Angie Casada, News 6.
Angie, thanks. It was a murder that shook Central Florida. Now, 3 decades later, the man who raped and killed Michelle McGrath in downtown Orlando has been executed. Thomas Gudinas died by lethal injection at 6:13 last night at Florida State Prison in Stark. He was the 7th person the state has put to death this year. Witnesses say Gudinas gave a short prayer before the drugs were administered.
There was some movement, some blinking, some short breathing. Within 4 minutes, you could see he was definitely out.
Last month, McGrath's sister told News 6 the execution would provide the family a measure of closure after so many years.
She's never coming back, so it's not actually going to fix anything, but it is justice for him to get the death penalty.
An 8th execution is scheduled for next month. This would tie the record for the most executions in a single year since Florida reinstated the death penalty in 1976.
This morning, police are searching for the person responsible for a deadly shooting at a Winter Garden townhome complex. Officers found 2 people shot Tuesday just after midnight at the West Side townhomes on Dolphin Drive. Investigators say 2 people were seen firing multiple shots, but video evidence suggests a 3rd person may have been involved. One of the victims, Darius Towns, died at the hospital. The other victim expected to recover. Anyone with information is asked to call Winter Garden Police or Crime Line.
An Orange County family is speaking out after their loved ones was hauled away by ICE agents following an immigration court hearing.
The man's family says he's included in the group of Venezuelan migrants no longer protected after a change in policy by the Trump administration. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez joining us now live in studio with their emotional plea. Stephanie.
Justin, Crystal, a woman contacted us here at News 6 because she was trying to figure out which ICE detention facility her brother is being held in.
Yo solo espero tenerlo acá conmigo nuevamente, aunque es incierto ahora saber qué pasará, porque ellos hacen lo que quieren.
Damaria Aranguran is desperately trying to find her brother, Stenger Caracucan. Her husband says his brother-in-law was taken into ICE custody after attending an immigration hearing on Monday in Orlando, related to the Temporary Protection Status, or TPS, program for Venezuelan migrants. Last month, the U.S. Supreme Court paved the way for the Trump administration to terminate TPS for roughly 350,000 Venezuelan migrants. The move even prompted Disney World to let go about 4,000 workers who no longer had protection.
Él tiene un caso de asilo, él tiene un proceso de asilo. Él no debería ser deportado, él paga impuestos, él trabaja, no tiene ni un ticket del carro que haya cometido una infracción, nada, él está bien. Solo lo hicieron porque es la ley ahora. No hay humanidad.
News 6 worked to get results, discovering Caracucan is being held at an ICE detention center in Miami. The family says they received one phone call from him on Monday, but haven't heard from him since. Now, he is being held in Miami, but soon some Florida ICE detainees could be held in tents in the Everglades if the alligator Alcatraz comes to fruition. Now, it would be an ICE detention facility on an isolated airfield. The federal government hopes to have 5,000 beds in heavy-duty tents, trailers, and temporary buildings ready for use by early July. In the studio, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Stephanie, thanks. Happening right now in Iran, supporters of the Iranian government are rallying in Tehran against the fragile ceasefire agreement between Iran and Israel. The protest follows Iran's limited missile strike on a U.S. base in Qatar in response to American attacks on Iranian nuclear sites. Meanwhile, President Trump is in the Netherlands for NATO talks, with the Iran-Israel ceasefire and fallout from U.S. strikes still looming over the summit. Early U.S. intelligence reports now suggest the strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear sites may have only set their program back by a few months. Classified briefings for lawmakers have been pushed to Thursday.
Well, the results are in. State Representative LaVon Bracey Davis will be the Democratic nominee in the race to fill the Orange County seat of the late state Senator Geraldine Thompson. Bracey Davis won with nearly 43% of the vote. Her brother, Randolph Bracey, came in 4th. Bracey Davis will face Republican Willie Montague now in a special election that's happening on September 2nd. Bracey Davis represented Florida House District 40, which is also in Orange County. That includes parts of Pine Hills, parts of Ocoee, Fairview Shores. Primary voters have elected her chief of staff, Rashawn Young. He defeated former state representative Travaris McCurdy. 7:12 now. Back to your forecast. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos with us now. We've been watching these showers and storms right off the coast trying to move on land, Candace.
Yeah, and they're kind of fizzling out a little bit as they move a little closer to Brevard County, but cannot say the same further south down through Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie further south. So if you're watching us in Brevard and you've got to commute a little further south, just do be aware that the 95 corridor in that zone will be a bit on the slippery, kind of wet side because we are watching for additional moisture that's going to continue to wrap around. Basically, it's an upper low that's still sitting over the Bahamas. It's going to continue to move overhead, and that's going to fuel not only more rain and thunderstorms, but also a higher threat for some strong to severe storms as well. Temperatures right now in the 70s, pretty much mid-70s all across our coastal communities right now. Melbourne, that onshore breeze keeping you guys in the low 80s. Further inland, we're also kind of muggy, 73 in Apopka, 76 degrees currently there in Citrus Ridge. Now, rain chances, again, not area-wide. Not everyone is going to see the rain. It's going to be very limited right along I-4, primarily across areas of Lake Sumter, western Orange County for today. But wherever we see the rain, there will be plenty of opportunity for those storms to turn severe, which is the biggest concern besides the lightning and the rain, which is a pretty much a guarantee with our afternoon storms. It will be the gusty winds as well as some hail in the forecast. We'll have more details on what models are kind of really focusing on for location of those storms today and a better chance for tomorrow coming up. Now let's check on how those roadways are doing this morning with Trooper Steve.
Drive times right now are kind of high this morning. 58 minutes, Champions Gate to downtown Orlando. So that is almost an hour. So listen up. There is these delays caused out here between 27 and 429. This crash, tow truck out here. Remember, give them some space, please. They deserve it just as much as you do. Working out there on the side of the road, Florida move over law applies. Got a spider hanging out on the camera out here, but 417 over Lake Jessup, nice and clear this morning. No issues. Oviedo, 434, Alafaya Trail, passing the UCF area, headed further east along State Road 50, and then Brevard County, Titusville, I-95 up towards Mims with no problems. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. Coming up, changes to your fire service and tax dollars could be coming.
What Oviedo is now considering, plus a fix to the lack of food. Up next, the major donation providing a solution for children at the Boys and Girls Club.
You're watching News 6 Mornings, and we'll be right back. The city of Oviedo could be the next city to merge its fire department with Seminole County. City leaders believe now is the time to plan for the future before costs force their hand. Oviedo is just one of 4 cities in Seminole County still operating independently. While county commissioners see consolidation as a smart move, Oviedo's fire chief says he has not been approached about it. The mayor is openly raising the possibility online, sparking dozens of comments and some mixed reaction.
So having this conversation when we're not having a financial crisis, that's the time to have it. Not when we all of a sudden realize, oh man, we can't make budget.
Castleberry, Winter Springs, and Altamont Springs have already made the switch. In some cases, cities face tax hikes of up to 24% to keep their own fire departments running. Summer is in full swing, but for some Central Florida students who rely on free and reduced lunches, food can be hard to come by.
Yeah, but the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida has a solution. They are thankful for a $20,000 donation from the Winn-Dixie Gives Foundation. $10,000 has been given in the form of food that's been packed up into take-home meals and snacks. CEO Jamie Merrill shared with News 6 what this means to her not only as a leader, but as a mom.
It's a big deal. I mean, I want my own kids to grow up healthy and happy. Every single parent, guardian, friend, or people that love children want them to grow up happy and healthy and well-nourished. Some people just don't have the means to be able to do it, and that's where we step in and the amazing partners that we have.
Meals at home, something we all take for granted. The rest of the money will be used at the club to help programs continue to grow through the summer. The donation is one of 5 across the Southeast region with a focus of eliminating food insecurity, one kid at a time.
Speaking of food, this year's rankings for the best fast food restaurant have been released. What a big surprise this one is. Once again, Chick-fil-A topping the list for best customer satisfaction. The 11th year in a row for the Georgia-based chain to come in first among quick service restaurants. By the way, Panda Express, Starbucks tied for second.
I think consistency is the key here, and they have probably the most consistent location.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I think for the large pocket of fast food chains, it really does depend on location, the franchisee, who runs it, how they operate. That is a big factor, but I think across the board, Chick-fil-A, it's hard to find one that's like,
oh, I've had it better here.
Negative, right?
Right.
It's
Well,
really consistent.
if the line is wrapping around the place twice, that's when I go to PDQ.
Well, here's the issue.
I'm just like, I'll get my chicken somewhere else.
Right. I think a lot of people have one complaint about Chick-fil-A. The service is horrible on Sundays.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That was a good one.
That is
How many times have you pulled into one on a Sunday?
I have.
Yeah.
You always crave Chick-fil-A on a Sunday when they're closed.
Sponsor us.
When I was out of town for 2 weeks, out of the country. Guess what I had when I first got back?
Chick-fil-A, baby.
Right when you got to the airport, when you flew back in.
Right into the Miami airport. It was like. Although storms that we are going to be anticipating could get strong to severe pretty quickly. Storms that we are going to be anticipating could get strong to severe pretty quickly this afternoon. And then we're going to widen out that chance as we head into Thursday and Friday. And the main reason for it is we are watching an upper level low just offshore. So before that upper low really gets going and moving into Central Florida, it's a relatively dry start. Right now we're in those mid to upper 70s. But now let's check on your hour-by-hour forecast for today. 93, that is going to be our high this afternoon. Our rain chances, again, up to about a 40%, not widespread, but still worth the mention. This is what the radar looks like at this hour. Quite active, right, for, 7:20 in the morning. Now, most of the rain that's moving on shore is still just south of our viewing area. But if your morning commute takes you down past Sebastian into the Fort Pierce area today, or at least this morning along 95, just do be aware that the roads will be pretty slick there. Then as we progress into the afternoon, as that low all shifts further to the east, so will all this rain. So coastal showers can't be ruled out for the next several hours, but then that threat will push further inland into the afternoon. But notice it's not widespread, very spotty. Only about a 40% chance of seeing a couple of those scattered showers. But again, look how quickly they turn kind of red and purple, indicating that that severe threat is certainly there. Then as we fast forward the clock to Thursday morning, another round of some coastal showers, maybe a few thunderstorms, but then that threat pushes further inland and does become a little more widespread as that low will kind of be sitting right overhead. So that's really going to kind of fuel that chance for those stronger storms becoming more widespread, even as late as about 7 to 8 o'clock. And then that threat pushes further out towards our western communities. So the severe weather risk for today, hovers right along the I-4 corridor and across our northwestern communities. Lightning and rain, that's going to be a guarantee no matter what kind of storm you're talking about. But at the end of the day, the wind and the hail will also be kind of a heightened threat for today. Same story for tomorrow with that risk pretty much area-wide. So don't forget those lightning safety tips. We've been talking a lot about them. Just because it's not raining overhead doesn't mean you can't get struck by lightning. Some of the more dangerous lightning strikes actually come out of the anvil clouds, and that's where those lightning strikes can travel outwards about 10 miles. So again, just play it safe, stay weather aware as we are going to continue to dodge rain and storms over the next 7 days. Now let's check on those roadways. Switch over, Steve.
Clear skies, clear roadways right now. This is a great shot up here. Towards the 110-mile marker, no delays out here in I-4 Volusia County right here at Saxon. Saxon westbound, not seeing any problems this morning as you're making your way towards maybe the Seminole County area. And then Daytona, look at that. Left side of your screen is the eastbound lanes. Not much out there up here. Now, there are some delays when it comes down towards Lake Mary Boulevard. Starting to see a brief slowdown. No quick breaks out there, but just watch your speed. 417 looking good up on the far north end. Not much construction going on, and the lanes are clear. You're clear right now as you make your way up towards the I-4 417 area. And then, yeah, things look pretty good out on the roads. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. New this morning, 20 people struck by lightning, including children.
At the bottom of the hour, where this happened and the urgent warning from officials.
And straight ahead, new big exhibits and upgrades and more turtles saved. A look inside Volusia County's Marine Science Center. The future of animal rescue and ocean education in Volusia County just got a big boost. After nearly a year of renovations, the Marine Science Center in Ponce Inlet is back open with expanded space, new exhibits, and more room to save wildlife. That's what I'm talking about. The $4.2 million upgrade includes a working coral lab, a living reef, and new education buildings, all designed to help grow tourism and protect the region's ecosystems.
We need the public to come in and learn about Volusia County's and marine and terrestrial habitats and learn on ways that we can help reduce those impacts.
This year is already a record for sea turtle rescues in Volusia County. With new quarantine and hospital space, staff say they're better prepared than ever.
Still ahead, the legal battle over Florida's plan to limit what kids can do online.
Plus, every second counts. Up next, why one local entrepreneur says the state is putting lives at risk by not approving his storm safety tool.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6.
Good morning, Central Florida. I'm Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. Right now, we are dealing with a couple scattered showers, still just off the coast in Brevard County, but throughout the day, our threat will push further inland. Now, our coverage for this afternoon, not extremely widespread at only 40%, with highs still feeling on the hot side. But even though the coverage is not extremely widespread, there will be the chance that some of these cells could turn strong to severe. So today, we are under a level 1 out of 5 for strong to severe activity on the radar. And we are looking at another round with same impacts for your Thursday and possibly even Friday afternoon. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve.
Things looking pretty good out here this morning for the start of your Wednesday. This is going to be I-4 up at the 113, puts you just outside of the DeLand area. Deltona, good morning to you. Making your way out towards Daytona Beach, all of I-95 looking good this morning. Some spotty things here and there, but not blocking any of your travel lanes. A report of a car fire out close to New Smyrna, but not slowing you down. The news continues next. Remember, get updates on any of our big stories anytime. ClickOrlando.com.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6.
The time is now 7:30 on your Wednesday.
Let's get a check of our top stories. Breaking overnight, the Axiom 4 mission crew blasting off from Kennedy Space Center. The $70 million mission was nearly scrubbed, though, due to a critical weather data issue, but experts say a last-minute fix saved the day. The launch marks a historic return to space for India, Poland, and Hungary.
And a middle school teacher now behind bars. Investigators say she had sex with one of her teen students. Sarah Jacques taught math and was a girls basketball coach at Corner Lake Middle School. She's now facing multiple sexual misconduct charges.
A Central Florida man detained by ICE moments after his immigration hearing in Orlando. His family says he had been living and working legally under temporary protected status, but just lost protection under a recent Supreme Court ruling.
All right, let's turn now to the weather. You know, we are heading into a chance for some strong storms through the end of the week. But first, a beautiful start. This is a live look. Oh,
over Mount Dora.
Out Mount Dora. Well, it was.
Downtown Mount Dora. Great time to walk the streets of downtown, maybe grab a coffee out there. Not too bad to start the day, Candace.
I mean, it's still muggy and gross outside.
Of course it is, but we're used to it.
It's Florida.
I guess.
You can't complain about that.
I was at swim practice yesterday. I'm not practicing swim. I was watching the children practice swim. And I'm just like, they need to put a part of the pool for just the parents. I'd pay extra. That is a good idea. Right?
Yeah.
All right. I gotta tell the crew. All right. Taking a live look outside Cape Canaveral. Dropping the kids off at summer camp. You got the swim lessons. You're going to have to dodge some rain in the forecast. We haven't had to dodge a lot of rain for the past couple of days. I know that's a welcome relief to a lot of parents, but at the end of the day, we're going to be bringing back the chance for rain and storms throughout the rest of the week. Right now, in areas around Cape Canaveral, like in Melbourne, we're at 80 degrees, still in those mid-70s from Daytona, Sanford, Orlando as well. Now, the radar looking dry, so drop off, heading to work, morning commute, we should be okay. Not the same story, though, for Fort Pierce and down through Port St. Lucie. But we're going to continue to watch these scattered showers slowly rotate in towards our coastal communities this morning. But then that chance for rain and a few strong storms can't be ruled out this afternoon. Now, our highs today, low 90s, and then the rain and storms start to develop. Our coverage for today, again, 40% along our coastline. Even a little bit further inland, as we could see kind of a cluster of some rock and thunderstorms after about 3-4 o'clock this afternoon. What kind of severe weather are we talking about? Well, when we have this low moving overhead, it's going to fuel a better chance for some of those stronger straight line gusty winds, but also the potential for some hail in the forecast. We'll be pinpointing more the timing and location of those storms coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 traffic update.
Things still looking good out here along I-4. No issues in Volusia County. Good morning to you guys. East and westbound. Nice and clear. This is Saxon area, just outside of the Deltona. It's pretty smooth, seeing some westbound issues, but ease towards the International Speedway this morning. Maybe you're going to go hang out in Daytona on a Wednesday. Holly Hill, good morning to you guys. Port Orange down towards Ponce Inlet. There was a report of a vehicle fire northbound along 95, close to State Road 44. Not finding any slowdowns. I've checked all the DOT cameras, and things looking pretty good out here this morning. Traffic moving nice on both sides of the highway here. I checked about 4 or 5 miles worth of stuff. No problems. Back to you.
All right, Steve, thank you. Developing this morning, a disturbing arrest in Orange County. A middle school teacher accused of having sex with a student.
Right now, she's off campus and under investigation. News 6's Angie Casada is live outside Corner Lake Middle School, where that teacher worked. And Angie, that investigation is centered around an incident that happened 2 years ago.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, this case is sending shockwaves through the school community. What we know so far is that 34-year-old Sarah Jackas, she taught here at Corner Lake Middle School, and now she's in jail facing multiple sexual misconduct charges involving a student. According to the school's website, Jackas was still listed as active faculty this year. The incident allegedly happened 2 years ago, but only came to light recently. The principal assured parents last night with a message that the employee is no longer on campus, informing them on the allegations of misconduct. Now, right now, investigators haven't said if there could be more victims, but she did see a judge. She went before a judge yesterday. Her bond was set at $19,000, so there's a high possibility that she may be bonding out at some point this morning. Of course, we'll let you know if there's any developments in this case. Reporting in Orange County, Angie Casada, News 6.
Angie, thanks. New this morning, the woman accused of shooting a Marion County deputy from the back seat of a patrol car will be staying in jail. A judge denied bond for 22-year-old Rihanna Hardin yesterday. Investigators say she was arrested during a traffic stop Monday, and a deputy was taking her to jail when she opened fire from the back seat. Deputies say she used a handgun hidden in her pants to shoot the deputy, grazing his face with a bullet. He returned fire. Hardin is now facing several charges, including attempted murder. That deputy involved is on paid leave while the FDLE investigates.
Taking a live look outside the Lake County Jail now, where we are still waiting to see if and when suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez and now his wife will leave the jail. Robin Severance Lopez could post bond at any minute now. The suspended sheriff being held on a $1 million bond, his wife $400,000 bond. Prosecutors say the two acted as partners in a multi-million-dollar illegal gambling operation, bringing in more than $20 million in profits. During Robin Lopez's first court appearance, prosecutors also mentioned a divorce filing from 2023 that was never finalized.
Most recently, on April 10th, 2025, in a pending divorce case between her and Marcos Lopez filed out of Brevard County, she filed a financial affidavit, which reports a net monthly income of $1,337, yet reports she has approximately $123,000 in a bank account in addition to other assets.
Now, to get out of jail, both Lopez and his wife must prove any bail money did not come from illegal activity.
A mother and her boyfriend charged in a toddler's death will now face trials separately. Erica Dotson and Josh Mans are charged in the death of 3-year-old Jamison Nance. The little boy was killed in 2021. Investigators say Mans beat the child to death, and Dotson knew about the abuse but never stepped in. In court on Tuesday, the couple's defense teams turned on each other, each blaming the other for the child's death.
The position is, on our side, that Ms. Dotson inflicted the injuries on the child that led to his death.
There will be antagonistic defenses in this case. There's no doubt that our intention is to blame Mr. Mans, as he stated that his intention is to blame Ms. Dotson.
The judge agreed the cases should be split, saying a joint trial would make it impossible for either to get a fair defense. A trial is set for August 18th.
When seconds count during storm season, a Winter Park entrepreneur says the state is putting lives at risk. His hurricane safety product can withstand powerful storms, but he says it's being blocked from a state program. All new this morning, News 6 anchor Ginger Gadsden takes a look at the lawsuit.
During disasters like hurricanes and tornadoes, seconds matter. And those crucial seconds can mean the difference between life and death.
And punch it right out.
Nearly 20 years ago, John Smith of Winter Park invented a product called Storm Stoppers. It's an alternative to traditional hurricane shutters. The panels attach to the outside of windows and doors.
Done.
And can be removed from the inside in seconds.
Wow.
Unlike traditional bolt-on shutters, which often require special tools for first responders to remove.
Bolted-on shutters will trap and kill you because they violate Florida's life safety code.
Storm Stoppers has been put to the test, including this rigorous wind and impact test in Miami.
The building was ripped off its foundation and tumbled end over end with Storm Stoppers still attached.
But despite those results, Storm Stoppers is not approved under the My Safe Florida Home program. And that exclusion comes down to one thing: building code. Florida uses what's called a Uniform Mitigation Verification Form. Only products with penetrating anchors, bolts, screws, or permanent fixtures get full credit.
There's a standard, and the standard has been developed over a long period of time for very good reasons.
Scott Kodal, CEO of Don Myler Inspections, says his company has done more wind mitigation inspections than anyone in the state, and they followed this form to the letter.
And is really the de facto industry standard for protection.
Storm Stoppers, which uses 3M industrial fasteners, doesn't meet that standard, and that means no insurance discount and no reimbursement through My Safe Florida Home. Smith argues that exclusion isn't just unfair, it's illegal.
And the statute that created the My Safe Florida program is broad. It says anyone that does a hurricane mitigation product, of which Storm Stoppers is entitled to participate.
And that was Ginger Gadsden reporting. Now, Smith is also asking the court to require warning labels on any hurricane shutters that block fire exits.
The case is now in the hands of a judge in Leon County. The state has 30 days to respond. When we reached out, a state representative said they don't comment on pending litigation. Well, Florida is reversing course when it comes to beach access, and it's already making waves on the Gulf Coast. The governor signed a new law that reopens the debate over who really owns Florida's beaches. The bill rolls back a 2018 law that limited public access to private sand. It restores what's known as customary use, letting counties like Walton recognize beaches as shared spaces. Only 9 of Walton County's 26 miles of shoreline are public, which is a problem for an area of where 80% of the economy depends on tourism.
It truly is a community issue. It impacts jobs, small businesses, and the spirit of the place that we call home.
The new law also clears the way for beach restoration projects to move forward more efficiently.
7:40. All right, let's talk about the weather. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos with us now. Rain chances are up today and really through the rest of the week after a pretty dry Monday and Tuesday, Candace.
Yeah, a little bit today, a little more tomorrow, but the severe weather threat remains the same today and tomorrow. And that's all thanks to an area of low pressure just offshore. It's what's actually fueling all this activity right now across the open waters there. Speaking of the beaches, if you're out over Brevard County, don't be surprised we get clipped by some of these scattered showers this morning, with that threat pushing further inland along that sea breeze later on today. So there's that upper level low. You can see it pretty clearly, that big broad spin right now going around that low. That's all making its way over the Sunshine State. It'll linger here for the next couple of days, and that's why we're going to see a decent chance of some strong severe storms. Speaking of storms, we are done with Tropical Storm Andrea. It was a whopping 12-hour storm out in the northern Atlantic. As of now, no new tropical development is expected within the next 7 days across the tropics. One of the main reasons for it is look how much Saharan dust currently is out there. Many of the models still picking up a little bit of a denser plume rolling in come Friday and Saturday. Now, that Saharan dust is not going to just squash the chance for rain in the forecast for the next couple of days. There's still plenty of moisture, but don't be surprised if the next couple of days throughout at least maybe next week we'll have those vibrant sunrises and sunsets kind of mixed in there. So again, looking at the satellite and radar composite, there's not much to talk about, but notice all the rain and storms that this low is already starting to develop already at this hour. We'll have more details on the timing of today's rain and storm chances and a look at tomorrow's risk again in the forecast coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. It's 7:42 on a Wednesday. How are we shaping up so far?
Well, the slowdowns are just starting out here westbound I-4 in Seminole County at the 100 even mile marker. That's going to put us right there at H.E. Thomas Parkway, right there, County Road 46A. Right there. Look at the left side of your screen. We're stop and go. So just be careful this morning. No crash out there. Keep a safe distance of the vehicle in front of you, just so we don't have those crashes. New Smyrna Beach. You guys look good. I like bouncing all over the place here. We did have a vehicle fire out here. Didn't cause any issues. The ramps there at I-95, right there at State Road 44, all clear. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. 7:42 now, a new fight over social media restrictions for kids.
Coming up, why the state wants to start enforcing a controversial law, but tech groups say it's a violation of free speech.
First, though, 20 people hurt by a lightning strike in South Carolina. The warning from officials when it comes to being safe near the water this summer.
New this morning, 20 people, including 12 children, were injured by a lightning strike at a South Carolina lake. First responders rushed to Dominion Beach Park in Lexington County yesterday after lightning hit the water just before 5 p.m. All 20 victims showed signs of electrical injury. The fire district says, quote, the bolt of lightning that hit the water energized a metal cable with buoys on it that surrounds the swimming area. Several people were holding on the cable when it hit. Others were nearby swimming, end quote. 12 people were taken to the hospital and they are expected to be okay.
I just can't believe it. No one saw the storm coming, and so I texted my sister, who's a lieutenant with Lexington paramedics, and I have not heard anything back from her, but I hope those people are okay.
The park is set to reopen later today after safety inspections, and it comes after we saw our own series of lightning strikes last week and over the weekend. A 29-year-old visiting from Colorado died after he was hit in New Smyrna Beach while standing in ankle-deep water. At the time of the strike, the storm was still miles away. It wasn't even raining yet. First responders call this a reminder to stay alert during summer storms, especially when swimming or spending time outdoors in extreme heat.
Tech industry groups are urging a federal court to keep blocking Florida's social media law, saying it violates free speech rights. The law, known as HB 3, would prevent most kids under the age of 16 from having accounts on certain social media platforms. A federal judge already halted it earlier this month, but the state is appealing, asking to enforce that law while the legal battle plays out. Industry groups are arguing the law unfairly restricts access to legal online content. They say parents, not politicians, should decide what their kids can see.
It's a First Amendment violation, plain and simple. The First Amendment prevents government from imposing access restrictions to lawful speech, and that's what HB 3 does time and time again.
Supporters say the law is meant to protect children from harmful and addictive social media features. The court has not yet ruled on the state's request to enforce the law during the appeal.
New recognition for firefighters in Osceola County, and it could mean the difference between life and death for a child. The Kissimmee and St. Cloud fire departments just earned gold level status, which places them among Florida's top 6 for pediatric emergency care. The training includes advanced simulations like CPR on child models to incisions on pig lungs. Doctors and paramedics say the goal is simple: to build confidence in life or death moments.
And that gives them that hands-on experience so that they feel more comfortable when they go out into the setting and actually take care of these kids.
The department has also invested in new pediatric gear, including child-sized restraints for ambulances.
The 2025 UCF football season kicks off in just 9 weeks. The bounce house is going to be rocking soon, and the team will be charging on in style. The Knights posted some pictures on social media. Look at these babies. Those are the new uniforms that they're going to be rocking this year. UCF official website says that the unis are born from legacy and built for now.
Okay.
A little bit of a rebrand, but it incorporates elements from jerseys that the Knights have worn during the last 30 years.
I love them. They're
Looking
bold.
sharp.
They're bold for the Knights. Go UCF. Well, if you think water's the best way to quench your thirst, you might want to think again. Researchers in Scotland say milk beats water when it comes to staying hydrated. Okay. They say it's due to its sugar, fat, and protein content, which all work to slow down how fast your body dumps fluid and hold on to hydration a lot longer. Milk also has sodium, which acts like a sponge and holds onto water in the body as well.
Why's it got a bubble?
Now, this is my thing. They're comparing and they're saying that milk is more hydrating than just plain water.
Than plain water.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true, because water just goes right through you.
Right. You can incorporate the other stuff.
You can add a little squeeze of lemon and a pinch of salt.
And then with the potassium, then you just eat a banana.
And then you don't get the runs afterwards. So
Well, listen, we don't need.
You wait until
some of us are lactose intolerant.
Listen, I don't care if you're not lactose. You're running.
Yeah,
and you
it's
drink
gross.
milk. What do you think is gonna happen?
I did have one aunt one time told me that you don't give your kids milk when they have fevers because the milk curdles. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Go ahead,
I don't believe that. All right, let's talk about the weather forecast across the area. I don't know, it just grossed me out. I don't believe it.
You all only knew the amount of coffee that's being consumed in this building and the cream and never mind.
Use your imagination, folks. All right, let's talk about the weather forecast. We're quite open here. Upper level low right now, sitting over the northern Bahamas. And this low, by the way, is going to start making things a little more active across central Florida. For today, kind of a transitional day. Our coverage goes up to about 40%. Still a chance. That 40% chance of rain could turn strong to severe. And then as we head into Thursday and Friday, same severe weather, severe threat level, but the coverage does increase a bit up to about 60 to 70%. So the best rule of thumb for the next couple of days, if you see rain starting to build up and you're starting to see those skies turn those dark colors, just making sure that you are kind of heading indoors just in case. Right now we're in those mid to upper 70s area wide, but as we take you here hour by hour, so you can plan out your Wednesday. 91 will be your high for today. It's going to be a milk quenching heat out there. Ugh. Rain chances for this afternoon, up to about 40%. Now, as we look here at the radar, certainly a very active start across the coastal waters there off in the Atlantic. Now, some of that rain all kind of sparked up by that low will continue to kind of rotate and spiral into central Florida. We'll clip the coastline for the next couple of hours, and then the chance for rain pushes further inland. Here is that east coast sea breeze, and notice the coverage, not widespread. It's not for everybody. Many of us are going to stay dry for the day, but those who do have the rain and the storms will be contending with some of those stronger storms potentially in the forecast. Then on Thursday, like we talked about, same level of severe weather, but looking at a little more of a widespread coverage. You can see by about noon, coastal showers once again, but then that coverage widens out just a bit by about 5, 6 o'clock, lining up along I-4. A lot of those purples and reds there. Models are really holding on to some of those strong storms, possibly producing some gusty winds, even some small hail. So today our severe weather risk still a level 1 out of 5. So it's a low-end risk, but still worth mentioning there in the forecast. And then this is tomorrow, area-wide once again under that marginal risk. Gusty winds, those straight-line winds can be damaging with even pea to quarter-sized hail possible in the forecast. Now, we're going to continue to keep things pretty unsettled over the next couple of days. That does include each afternoon throughout the weekend. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve.
It's not horrible out here. Starting to see some of our normal spots begin to slow down, but just west there of the slowdowns in Seminole County on I-4, closer to 434, you're going to clear up. You're going to be perfectly fine once you get past Lake Mary Boulevard. Out here on 429, so this is the 22 right at the Florida Turnpike. When you're headed northbound, you're getting ready to take the ramp. Just watch out. Left shoulder, 2 vehicles out there. This is a crash just hanging out there on the shoulder. Hazards are flashing. When you are in a situation like this and you got to exit your vehicle, stay on that passenger side, please, or away from the roadway. Other than that, you'll have a brief slowdown. If you're trying to bypass this, stay to the left-hand side. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. A local legend spending more than a quarter-century protecting and serving one local city. How Castleberry is saying goodbye to a police captain who is getting quite the promotion. That's next.
The city of Castleberry is paying tribute and saying thanks to a police captain who's been on the force for a quarter-century.
Castleberry community correspondent Alex Cook was there as Captain William Nass said goodbye to the city he has served for so long.
Bill, congratulations.
Castleberry Mayor David Henson honored Captain William Nass yesterday for his 25 years serving the Castleberry Police Department. Starting as a young corporal, Nass quickly rose through the ranks.
I was 20 years old, and I was hired here in July of 2000 at Castleberry. They took a chance on a young man.
In 2008, Nass started law school at Barry University, earning his degree at night while on the force. Castleberry Police Chief Larry Krantz says Nass's leadership has been invaluable.
He was one of the ones that I recognized early on that had tremendous potential, someone that I knew but would be able to excel as a leader, and he has not proven me wrong.
Now Nass is headed to Dade City, where he will be chief of the police department there. He says he's taking the lessons he learned in Castleberry with him.
I've learned the right way to do things. I've learned how to treat people. I've learned what's important for a police department and the way it relates to its community.
He is certainly going to excel for them, and it's going to be a nice ride for them. They're going to be very happy in their choice.
Excited for the opportunity, Nass admits saying goodbye to Castleberry isn't easy.
I was crying about 30 minutes ago. It's tough. You're going to miss people, and it's a big change, but that's part of life.
I'm your Castleberry community correspondent, Alex Cook, News 6.
All right, let's take a quick check at the radar right now. We are watching plenty of rain, most of it though still falling just south of our area into South Florida. But we are going to continue to see more of those scattered showers, a few pockets of some heavier downpours. Some strong to severe storms though cannot be ruled out throughout the afternoon today. We're talking gusty winds, hail, better chance of rain. The threat remains the same for Thursday, but at least the coverage does increase as well with it. Other than that though, temperatures are going to continue to stay on the hot side, back into those low 90s. Feels like temperatures back into the triple digits, and that looks like that will be the story. Staying pretty unsettled, though, even as we head into the weekend, Steve.
Things looking pretty good out here for now on your Wednesday along I-4. Got the giggles here at the end of the show. I don't know why. Express lanes all clear. Road Ranger now out there northbound 429 at the Turnpike.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you for joining us this morning. We break news on clickorlando.com.
You can also find all of our stories on our new 6 Plus app for your TV.
Hope you have a great day. We'll see you next time.
Ooh, that's pretty.
That's a great way to start the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.